To listen to the Maharishikaa in your language, please click on the wheel in the bottom right-hand corner.
You're invited to a live online satssung with Maharishikaa Preeti this Sunday. To know more, click the link in the description below.
Namaskar, Maharishikaa ji.
Namaskar, Dnyaneshwar.
Recently, I heard about a public dispute between two great saints. One of them is called Jagadguru Rambhadracharyaji, and the other one is Premanand Maharaj. Just to give a background, Rambhadracharya was on some podcast and he challenged Premanand Maharaj that he should speak in Sanskrit or interpret any verse from Vedas. So in the current time where the Sanatana Dharma, I feel, is in great danger from other religions, it's confusing to see this infighting when our strength should be in unity. So when two revered masters engage in such a public dispute, who is operating from the ego and why? And shouldn't be there more unity between these masters?
You know, the idea of unity between various approaches in Sanatana Dharma is not something that is necessary from the dharmic point of view. Sanatana Dharma is actually based on charcha between the spiritual masters. They challenge each other. It's a very ancient way of ensuring that that which can also holds through. There's no Pope here that's the Almighty and declares what every Hindu has to do. These discourses and what appear to be attacks on each other are part of the tradition of the Hindu Dharma and should certainly be part of the tradition of every other religious construct, because that also ensures that the knowledge is kept alive and that there's discussion about it and there's improvements in what is needed for the current times. And also remember that this is the Chaturmas. It's the time when the gurus retire and they move into charcha, into discussion, into discourse with their disciples, with other gurus. I'm not, saying that this is what they necessarily did, but this is very much in line with Hindu Dharma, that acharyas and gurus and teachers of all kinds argue with each other, fight each other. The important thing is that when there is the enemy showing up at the door, that they hold together and fight that enemy. And that enemy, of course, is any religion which is exclusive in nature and does not embrace all ways to the divine. That's the enemy of Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma says there are different ways to the divine and all have their place. That's the very nature of Sanatana Dharma. The freedom to express, to argue, to have discourses, to have opinions. So it's not a question about whose ego is more or who's speaking the truth here. This is about something very typical to the Dharma. And I think that they have all the rights to engage in these kinds of arguments and these kinds of battles. It's dharmic, it's not adharmic. Of course, if they didn't hold together when it came to an attack by one of the, religions that are trying to destroy this amazing thing called Sanatana Dharma, then that would be something else. But I don't think that's the case. So I think it's all right, and I hope that it continues that way. Gurus, they don't only fight with each other, they often are very close to each other. They're good friends. They meet, they have discussions, discourses. Sometimes they send their disciples that they can't handle to somebody else. I think it's a good idea. I could try that with you, actually. That would be nice to have some time off from these questions. But no, I'm just joking. I think it's fully all right and nothing to worry about. We don't have a pope here, we don't have some authority that's supreme that dictates how you are supposed to explore truth. And that's something great, and that's something that freedom-loving people appreciate. Yes.
Yes. Namaskar, Maharishika ji.
Namaskar, Dnyaneshwar.
You're invited to a live online satsang with Maharishikaa Preeti this Sunday. To know more, click the link in the description below.